Right then, welcome back. Today we're going to do race 4. Race 4 in the Soul of Endurance event. And we are at Laguna Seca. Laguna Seca. A track I don't really like. And bike wise, we went with a 2014 R1? I don't know, we'll find out in a minute. Yeah, 2014 R1. A bike I've struggled with in the past, and this was no exception. So, did my usual, threw a setup in it, used the time in qualifying to make sure it worked. It did and it didn't. I couldn't really make my mind if I was happy with it or not. And we started at the back of the grid, and either I'm not fast enough or this bike and this track don't get on. I suspect it's somewhere towards the latter. Didn't want to carry any corner speed. It was running wide on the brakes, it was running wide on the gas. I'd mucked about with it in qualifying to try and work out what it was doing wrong, and it was just fighting me at every turn. It was getting upset by the curbs, and the AI were fast, so it turned into a bit of a nightmare. So lap 2, I'm in 11th, I've made no ground whatsoever on anybody, and I just clipped that inside curb, top of the corkscrew, down we go. Same lap, and this corner became a bit of a nose on this bike. Wouldn't go into the apex and runs wide onto the gravel, and we get off a lap later. 1 lap later, and I go in a bit slower. It runs wide straight away on the gas, and we go for a little bit of a bucking bronco, and we end up getting thrown off. So 9 laps in, 13 minutes into the race, we are 20 seconds behind the leader. We're in 12th. I get on the brakes, it slides, it does something weird, and I'm like, nah, I'm not having that. So my conclusion was it's a bit stiff. So I softened it off, but it was running wide, so if it was running wide it was a bit soft, and therein lies the problem I was having. Lap 1, onto the curves, we get off. 11 laps later, I'm still in 12th, not caught anybody up, and we just get that weird little slide again, and we run wider in the gravel. So I was like, 10 seconds behind, do I carry on, do I not? I'll see what it's like, I don't really want to give it up. And 2 corners later, bottom of the hill, we're off again. I was like, no, this is not going to work. So out I went, and we went all the way back to the menu. Thought, no, I need a different bike. I need something that's going to give me the feeling that I want, nice front end, and in the end I went for the Kawasaki. I like it very much, it makes a nice noise, and we qualified and we were nearly half a second slower in 3rd. So alarm bells were ringing. I was rather concerned that I wasn't going to be able to do it. So that's the setup I went with, pretty much my standard setup, just up a little bit on the compression on the rear to try and get it to compress a bit quicker if needed, but come back at the normal pace. And standard AI start, and I say standard, and when I say standard I mean shit, because we're in 3rd and we go from 3rd to 7th or 8th or something ridiculous. What or how they've planned these or programmed them, I don't know. So we're down in 7th, I go for the suicide line into the Andretti hairpin, and there's the Laguna Seca glitch again, straight through the bike. And again, look, straight through, no contact being made. I was expecting the bikes to come together, so that's why I ended up nearly going in the gravel. I was like, do I restart it, do I not restart it? If I restart it, it'll just be the same again. I don't really want to have to qualify again. So I thought, well, rather than just being a knob and riding through people, do it properly and at least make the effort, and we'll see how we get on. So end of lap 1, we're back up to 6th, and we try sucking the AI deep into the hairpin, and it works. We come back through, and there's a little bit of, I abused the ghost there, didn't I? But it is what it is. I'm not going to cry over it, because it didn't really affect the eventual outcome of the race. And that was it. It was a case of settling in and not doing anything stupid. The AI were fast, especially Eric and Muster at the front. They were ridiculously fast. I'm not sort of like snoozing and taking the piss. I'm trying, and it's took 8 laps to get up to third. I've still got a 4-second gap to the leader, and I was not panicking, but I was like, I'm not making any time up, or if I was making time up, I'd run wide and do something daft. So lap 9, we run wide. I've already had a bit of a ding dong getting up to third, and yeah, I just make a bit of a mess of this. I get on the gas at the wrong point, on the brakes, upset the bike, front tyre cries, and we're off. We didn't lose too many positions, just the one, but it took a fair old chunk of time to get back. Lap 12, the important thing, 23 minutes. Someone's gone into the pits. Erica Muster's gone into the pits at 23 minutes. Lap 13, lap later, Frank Jordan goes into the pits. So they're all pitting before 50% of the time has elapsed. So I was like, I think that they're going to all pit again. So what I need to do is run as long as possible, stick some fuel in, make the bike light. Bear in mind, it was getting lighter and lighter all the time, so the tyres were always going to come back to me. So 18 laps, 25 minutes in, we're going to the pits. We stay on the medium compound, and then it's a case of, right, I'm going to run it in power mode. I'm going to give the back tyre a load of abuse, hence going from a soft to a medium, and we'll see what happens. And we come out of the pits, and this pit lane is taking the piss. Absolutely 100% taking the piss. I don't mind this bit, 70 odd mile an hour. It's now, when they get around this corner at 20 miles an hour or whatever daft it is, and just like doing nothing, absolutely nothing. Then you get back on the gas, oh my god, we're a decade behind. So we come out in third, 13 minutes left, 1 minute 22 a lap, so we're looking at what, another 8-9 laps maybe, something like that. And it took a bit of time, it took a fair bit of time, especially getting past this this person on this Panigale, Frank Jordan. Every time I went to stick it up the inside, they'd let the brake off and run around the outside or run a bit deeper. And I'd had a couple of goes before this, I'd tried to work it out, and I thought, well, I'll stick it up the inside at the corkscrew and force them to go around the outside, and if needs be, just a bit of hip and shoulder, and they can go for a little drive through the gravel. But as it turns out, I didn't need it. So we're up to second, 9 minutes left, I've got loads of gas, tyres are alright, tyres are slowly coming to us, but we're not catching her. And it got to the point where there's 2 minutes of the race left, I'm too busy looking at the time, we run on at the corkscrew, she's 6.77 seconds in front, but only got 3% fuel, and I was praying, and she went into the pits, and I was rather relieved, because I'd spent the last 7-8 minutes getting nowhere near her. I was not making any time up whatsoever. So 1 minute 50, we'll be on 1 minute 40 by the time we get across the line. So 2 laps. So we've got 2 laps left, she's gone in the pits, Frank Jordan behind, they've got 13% fuel left or whatever it was. So somehow we've managed to make the fuel last considerably longer than they did. It is what it is. It's the last lap, and I'll shut up and leave you in peace. It's done. And I was relieved. That was another case of sweaty palms. This endurance series has been tough. We had a decent margin at the end, but it's less about the margin and more about the actual race itself. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to leave me a comment, like, subscribe. There'll be loads more. Like I said before, I'm going to do them all, and I'll have a special treat for you all when I get to 100 subscribers. But I'll keep that under wraps for now. So stay safe, and fingers crossed, I'll see you next time. Peace.